I'm not sure, like, what do you guys typically cover? Do you guys have any questions or anything off the top of your head that you want me to talk about, or?
So kind of going off the
specifics?
shelf, do the colors vary throughout the year? It just depends on the bear.
So both. So true grizzlies, you can see right now she's got a lot of the blondish white fur. That's what distinguishes a grizzly from other brown bears. It's all the same species, but with grizzlies, when they were first described, they kind of had these blondish tips, and they were described it as having like a greasy or grizzled look when they're in the water, and that's where grizzly comes from. Samson, the male bear that we had here, who passed away a couple years ago, was like a darker brown. He was a Kodiak. So with most brown bears, you get that dark color. With her, especially when she's got her winter coat, you'll get the lighter tips. As she starts losing it this summer, you'll see that it's kind of darker fur that comes in initially, and then as we get back into the fall, and she gets the length and the undercoat, it kind of turns back to this color.
And how old is she now?
27.
So I was super off. My guess. 27.
I'm like trying to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too many ages to remember.
It's a 1999 baby.
Oh, that's a good way to remember it.
If you remember the year they're born, then you can always kind of adjust. But
Yeah.
it's like, I remember I was working with the Lions and they stayed the same age for like 3 or 4 years, and it's like, no, I've got
It's
to
like, well, time has
remember
passed.
to adjust and
Right.
count for that. When you just try to memorize the ages, it gets tough to keep track of everything, but if you memorize the years, it makes it slightly easier. It's still difficult, but so she's still eating the celery right now, which means if anybody would like unofficially to try feeding her,
Yeah.
you can do that. Before we do, though, I just want to say that it's a grizzly, so fingers are also food. That's why the celery works really nice, is you can just stick the end in, give her a couple inches to pick from, and she'll take it out of your hand. So fingers don't go anywhere near the mesh, but you can try it one at a time if everybody wants to. It's easier to go that way.
Do you want me to video you
Yes, that'd
doing
be
it?
awesome.
Yeah, if anybody wants pictures, more than happy
You're
to.
the cameraman today.
That is my
If you
other
guys have more
job.
questions, please feel free to ask while we're doing this
Why
as
are
well.
her nails so long? I was gonna ask you.
So with grizzlies in particular, they do a lot of digging,
Perfect.
but it's also for they go after bigger prey. So a lot of it, ripping apart prey. With a black bear, you'll notice that they have sharper claws. Black bears will typically climb trees. They're a little bit smaller, so there's
Thank you.
stuff they have to get away from. These guys are really kind of top of the food chain.
Did it work?
So they have
No, I forgot
longer
to press
claws
record, but
for
that's okay.
digging out their den
Did I
in the
not?
winter. It's where they give birth to the babies.
Oh, no, you did, you
So
did. So, you also
if you
stopped
look
it. You're
throughout the
good.
exhibit, you can see
I have
the
an
little
iPhone.
pits that start digging.
Yeah.
We have, there's the two culverts over here, which kind of create like an artificial cave for her. We also have buried ones throughout the exhibit, so she knows where those are, so she can dig down to them, again, to simulate that behavior and natural digging behavior. And then if they start getting too big, horticulture will come, fill them in, kind of rinse and repeat, and kind of give her stuff. So when they first wake up from hibernation, which is typically late March, they want greens. So she's getting towards the end of celery and the main lettuce now. The greens kind of work as a diuretic to get her digestive system working again after hibernating for 3 months, or being in a torpor for 3 months, technically. Typically after she finishes with the greens, into the summer it's more sugars that she'll start craving. So apples, oranges, carrots. You can see we have a bit of honey up here.
I was wondering what that was.
Give her at the end. Honey is good any time of the year. We're always happy to take that.
Thank you.
And then in the summer, we'll start with a little bit of fish here and there. And then by September, when we start getting first few cold nights, that's when she really switches gears. She'll switch to protein. And that's when she just wants meat, basically.
Thank you.
And once she does that, that's when she starts gaining weight, getting rid of her hibernation.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how we sort of got her and how we get some other animals down here?
So, mostly animals in the domain are rescues. Shinte specifically is from the Yukon. So she was originally spotted kind of out in the wild. Her mom had already passed away at that point. Nobody knows really what happened to her. She was solo when they kind of first discovered her. She was too young at that point to let her survive on her own. But she was living near a dump in the Yukon, and she was following around a group of black bears. So there was kind of some hope initially that maybe she'd pick up enough from the black bears to be able to figure things out on her own. But every time they saw her, she was getting skinnier and skinnier, and then she started breaking into people's cars looking for food. And once she did that, that was kind of when they called it. Fortunately for Shinte, at that time, we had space and we were able to take her in. Otherwise, they likely would have been looking at euthanizing her. But she's been here ever since. So most of the time that she's been here, she was with Samson, who was another male who also came in as a rescue, around the same age as her. The males typically are about double the size of the females. So when Shinte goes down for hibernation, she was about 550 pounds. When Samson went down for hibernation, he was about 1250. So he was more than double her size. 27, she's not showing her age, but for a grizzly, that's a really good age to make it to. I got a few more pieces. Anybody want another crack at it? But unfortunately for Samson, just because of his size, arthritis, and there was a lot of other issues that were kind of creeping up on him. Like people, you know, the bigger you are, the more of a toll it takes on your body. And typically, kind of having a smaller body size helps you live a little bit longer, and that's kind of what we're seeing with Shinte. So when Samson passed away, we were concerned about how she was going to do, because she had been with another bear for so long. So we were prepared to bring in kind of another companion animal for her, but she has thrived without him. So bears aren't one of those species that typically crave.
I don't want to slap you. Oh, you can slap me. That's fine. I just wanted to get you before it got you. Before I jump back into the cage.
Two more?
Last two. Cool. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
That's good.
What's her favorite food?
It depends on the time of year, but
Oh,
you know, honey and probably maple syrup. So they're kind of the two
True Canadian bear.
that she'll always go for.
This one's for Island. You only do it with the short? No.
Yeah, no pressure if you don't want to.
Absolutely.
Here you go, Riley.
If you're nervous around a grizzly, those are good instincts.
That is the proper
You're ashamed
reaction.
of it,
to have.
that's an appropriate response.
Absolutely.
I like that she uses her hands to hold it.
Yeah.
She's a lady.
She's a lady.
They'll also use the back of their hand as like a dinner plate sometimes. They have the
classy.
food there, and you know, it's like if she's in the pool, that's typically what you'll see is eating off the back of her hand.
Did she have an IB recently?
Yes. So she was sedated, trying to think, 2 weeks ago. The dentist was in, so they just, because of her age, wanted to take a look at how her teeth were doing and just kind of do some scans and just general